Good morning, good morning. New York session is like halfway through. The reason why I didn't do a stream on New York session because this move was very volatile. Like we had a short setup right here, which could have been like very easily takeable, but there was no knowing that if it ha would have like spiked higher as well. So that's why I like skipped doing it around the New York Open. And now that the price has settled a bit, we have some PA that is developed that we can trade right around here. Now, taking a look at the chart real quick, I'm gonna do a real quick overview of the lower time frame and the hard time frame. Let me show you guys the hard time frame real quick. This is the hard time frame chart that I have. This is what I have posted like last Monday stream that I did. I'm pretty sure last Monday. Oh, actually, Thursday probably. Oh, wait, let me see. Yep, last Monday. So this is the setup that I posted last Monday. Taking a look at this is a little tricky of a setup because if you take a look at this is like following a higher low slow grinded structure as of now. Ever since it's been like formed, even right now it's like forming a lower high. Like in structure, there's like a very strong like sense of bid that keeps coming in after like volatile sells. Now, if you take a look at this right here. We are currently like just below the value area low, and my idea, my trade for just like getting a long setup that will eventually end up working and take us all the way up to like 75Ks, 85Ks is going to sort of like end up working, but it's not gonna like stop here. The amount of like momentum that we have built now, it's not gonna stop like around 74K, 75K. What's gonna happen is because this right here is most likely gonna act as like inducement, and we're just gonna like just take the liquidity of these highs. And once we've like taken the liquidity, we'll probably form another structure, and from there we're probably most likely gonna carry higher. And then we're gonna take the three drive highs that we have right around here. That's the most likely going to be the structure that's going to play out. So we will get like another long setup right here. So if there's a trade that is like cooking up here, it's gonna go all the way up to like 85Ks even, right? But that has to like has like a condition that needs to be filled. Am I gone quiet? Can anybody tell me? Bam Bam just said in the chat that he cannot hear me. Can you guys still hear me? If you can, just type it in the chat real quick. I think I should be loud and clear. Okay, good. Now that's the setup that we could have at the moment. Like it could be a very nice long that could just send prices way higher, like 20K higher. But for that, we need like a very nice slow grind trigger into the value area high, something that's above the range POC, right? Now that's the only trigger that I am looking for, and that was the only trigger that we were looking for before as well, because the POC, as you can see, it rejected the last reclaim and it rejected the current reclaim as well. But comparatively to the last like reclaim that we were trying to do, we didn't have a follow-up or didn't have a proper structure. But this one does have a proper structure. Now, what's most likely gonna happen if we cannot like get that slow grinding structure by Friday, by Thursday in like 72 hours in like 3 days time? So what's most likely gonna happen is we're gonna end up like just nuking all the way down to like 58K. And the reason for that is, if you take a look at the hard time frame, I'll show you the same thing. Like this structure right here is no different from the structure that we have at the moment. As you can see, this is a slow staircase setup that keeps the price up. As you can see, this structure right here is no different from the structure that we have at the moment, because this is something that I like explained when we were like trading right here as well. And this is something that I explained while prices were right here as well. I think this is like May, today June, July. This is like 2 months ago, like when I was like doing sessions like still on Monday and Thursday, and I was saying like this setup right here is gonna execute pretty well if you are able to just get a blast of a top, or like a very like exquisite pump that like could reclaim prior range value, and then from there we're gonna even go all the way up to like 116K. That's how strong like this setup looked like. But the more we delay this setup right here, the worse it gets for the price, because you have to understand, when you're trading like BTC, especially BTC, we're talking about a very volatile pair. And whenever we're trading BTC, now this is keeping in mind, this is the higher time frame understanding of the market that we have right now, and that is that the price, especially for BTC, whenever it needs to like actually trend higher, it needs to form this like sort of very minor slow grinded structure that it has, and then it needs to like follow up with a volatile pump right afterwards. Now, what what happens like if it doesn't like follow up with that pump and then it like keeps getting rejected and then forms a structure, it eventually distributes that like incline eventually like ends up being a like a decline. And what happens like it sort of breaks structure somewhere, and that's like an even volatile cell. So that, and that is, this is one of the distribution schematics that we play out on BTC especially. And there's only two distribution schematics. That is like one of this curvature one, and one that like actually has just one blow off top, and then it doesn't like get another high and then just like sort of slowly beats down. These are like the distribution schematics that we have when we talk about BTC or trade BTC. And that is exactly what happened here. And that's something that I like was sharing right here as well. Like if we want to like get prices way way higher, we need to like carry on this trend that we have right now. Like the trend we have, what structure really needs is like when you have like these higher lows, there's usually an a better higher low that gets formed right above the structure, and usually there's a POI that's sitting below, but we start like forming like a higher low, pretty much like front running everybody that was looking to long, and then we continue that structure, and then we actually end up like pumping very volatile from it. But what happens like if we don't like continue from there, and then we start breaking, and then we come back to the higher low, and then we keep forming the structure, what happens like it slowly turns into cells. And when it does turn into cells, it literally takes out every single higher low that it forms on itself, because there's a lot of liquidity just sitting just below these structures. So the reaction and the slow grind that we need has to be within 72 hours or within this week, because if we do not, and the more it stalls, I'm gonna go short, and I'm gonna short all the way down to 58K. Now that's the hard time frame outlook that we have, but how do you like actually execute on this? Like what do you look at? What do you like look for the triggers? And that's something that we'll have to like take a look at on the lower time frame real quick. How are we gonna like actually execute what we are talking about here? Now this right here is like a pretty nice pump that we are having on the lower time frame. Honestly, like if I was like not like streaming right now, I would probably like scalp this structure. I would probably like try to like scalp here and put my TPs like somewhere here, and then like go for like a 1 hour trade. Probably like just scalp this structure, this lower time frame extremes that we have. Let me just mark them out for you guys. This is the Valeria high that we have right here. I'm just gonna keep this here. Now, what's most likely going to happen is that we have these like extremes. We're gonna like bounce off of in these extremes for a bit, and if we were to like break down, the breakdown would be very noticeable. But the reason why we don't want to break down is again like we want this price to like actually trend and continue, right? Now the trigger for that long and the trigger for the short that I am talking about, how will that look and how will that be? Now the trigger for the short would actually be if we just do not break any higher from this structure that we have. We could go like all the way up to like even this POI. But the trigger for the short would be like even if it like starts breaking down here, the trigger for the short would be if you like just get like very selling like there's a lot of like asks in like let me just show you real quick. There's a question in the chat. Don't you expect 63K before 67K? 63 is right here, and 67 is right here. The reason why I don't expect 63K before 67K would be because if you were to like expect 63K, then we do not stop at 63K. There's a lot of liquidity below these lows. We're gonna stop way way lower. We're gonna stop probably around 60K or 58.8. That's the where we're gonna stop. And again, the trigger for that would be on the hard time frame. It just looks like we are going to look and wait for a structure to form here. We're gonna wait and see if there's like a slow grind structure that we could have, like higher low and higher high series of bids just chasing and chasing. And where it would like actually execute would be when we have this structure where we are front running any sort of higher low POIs that we have, and we're forming another higher low structure, is where we're gonna like actually go for long, and we are going to like put our stops at that higher low or the prior higher low, and then we're gonna aim for much much higher. Like that's how I'm going to look to execute the structure right here. But for a short, honestly, for a short, if we are like if we even pump up all the way up to here, like if we take out these equal highs that we have right here and then reject off of here, and after that if we get a rejection which ends up being very bearish, there's a lot of bearish momentum which would look pretty much like this. So it will look like a series of lower highs, And with those lower highs, what's gonna happen is like there's gonna be like a minor break. There could be a minor break, but it's gonna be into an FEG, or there could be like a very aggressive sell, and then you can just execute either of those. Now that's something that we don't have at the moment. That's why I'm not like sharing the trade, but that's something that's most likely going to occur around like 64 800, 64 700, and for the long it's going to like be around 66 300, 6 200. And that's the higher time frame setups that I have. And the way they're gonna be executed is just like they're gonna be executed something like this, and it's gonna be a trade all the way down because there's a lot of liquidity sitting right here. So if you are bullish, if you have a bias for longs, and if you are expecting prices to go higher, that needs to be done within this week. So like we have a very efficient higher time frame uptrend rather than just like a choppish grind that we have, and that ends up being like distribution, like takes out pretty much everybody that was bullish, and then just doesn't do shit. And if you do like actually get a rejection from here, again we are gonna go to like the ranges between like 55k all the way to like 45k. So that is again is a buy, is a good thing actually. Just don't like get wrecked like trying to buy like from here to here to here to here, and then eventually you're not having enough money to buy here. So that's the only very like recommendation and advice I have for you, and that's the only way like I'd be looking to like execute this structure that we have at the moment right here. As for scalping, like again, like I tell you, like you can scalp a lot of like rotations right here. This is honestly, this structure right here is the best for like scalping like rotations. No, don't worry, this stream will be recorded. I will post it on Twitter as well. You can watch the start of the stream photo. This structure right here is pretty good for scalping. Let's see if you guys are in any sort of scalps, you can share them to me in the chat as well. Let me just take a look at if somebody else is in a scalp. I see a lot of people like in a scalp in crypto chat. Some are long, some are short at the moment. But honestly, the scalp that I would actually be looking for would be just like rotations. But honestly, like what I was saying was like a rotation. If you like long here, it's gonna go to this POI, and then it's gonna like get a rejection from there. And when we form a lower high, again like lower high, we're gonna form this break structure, and then we can get like a short setup right here. It would be a rotation back to like this POI that we have, and it's gonna be like a little rotations. A scalp from 64.5 is what Goop said. 64.5 is right around here. That's a very good scalp. I was actually looking at the chart right there, and I did manage to like scalp a bit, but I like had to go out for gym, and I didn't really execute this again. And honestly, if you have an entry right there, just look to like maybe TP partials right around here. But if we do like carry on momentum from here, I do recommend that we just like run the trade much higher. ATTR ask, are these weekend lows a potential trigger for a cascade to 58k? Weekend lows is supposed to be right here. They are like they are poor lows. Like I wouldn't say these are like fine, like pretty good lows. Like they are sort of like very equal. And the thing is like they are still acting as a higher low. Like they are still supporting and like keeping on carrying on the momentum of the trend. So if they were to break, they can act like as a potential trigger, but the trigger really is how we perform around the premium of the POI. So the premium is right here, where the short POIs are supposed to be. So if we get like a lot of momentum and bid right there, then we are gonna invalidate any sort of sell scenarios that we're gonna have. If you guys have any questions, just ask them to me in the chat. Kim said, if we go to 59k first, probability of gold price going to 75k is very low. I don't think the probability of going to 75k is very low after that. Like if we come to like 59k first, I think the probability would be very high. But the only thing would be that there's going to be a long delay. Like that could take a few months as well. So that's something that's likely going to happen. Do we have any questions so far, guys? Taking a look at the positions poll that everybody has posted, like 31% are short, 38% long. You can actually like post your position right here, by the way. There's a lot of people long. That's pretty nice, and more sideline, which is okay as well. You don't have to like be positioned all the time. Just wait for the right trigger. I see that there's more people short. Okay. Leo said, "How do you recognize the PY at 65,375? 65,375. Honestly, this is not the exact PY. Like as you can see, the exact PY honestly would be right here. And the way I like really take out PYs, if you draw like a range, and if you draw the 0.5 of that, and if you take a like a high and a low, let's just say we have an extreme high, we have an extreme low right here. What I usually look for while price is in the middle or while price is at an extreme, I look for the extreme FVG. I look for an overblock that's overlapping it. I usually look for a bid or ask imbalance indicating it or a POC. So a bunch of like confluences that I look for, and then I look for a trigger on that trade. Like if it's actually reacting to that POI or if it's just like breaking through that POI, and that's what like actually determines the POI. But most of the time, it's the extreme because the extreme is where there are better trades than the middle because a lot of the times in the middle it's just like rebalancing of positions. Like there's somebody gonna that's closing his position that's taking profit, or there's somebody that just like fucked up his position. There's a lot of rebalancing in the middle, so that's why we want to avoid trading the middle as much as we can. We just want to try like taking profits in the middle. Braun said, do you think seller selling could be the capitulation bottom? Honestly, like there's a lot like he can sell more. Like that might just be it. But I feel like for the capitulation bottom, there needs to be something big. There needs to be like last time it was FTX. FTX marked the literal bottom of the entire market for how long has it been? Like 2, 3 years now. And we need something as big as that. And honestly, if we have something as big as that that we can recognize, because FTX was very recognizable by a lot of people, but there like it was like 50-50. There was like a lot of people that were saying like FTX is this and that, and there were a lot of people that were trading on it saying like, okay, this is all bullshit. They just didn't want to believe, right? So there was a lot of denial. We need something as big as FTX, probably even bigger now. And we need a lot of denial for that scenario. So Sailor could be something. Sailor's like capitulation and selling could be something that relates to that, but that might not be the only factor that affects it. So that's something that I would probably like take a look into. Goop said, Shini have mentioned this a few times in the start of year, but we have major big sell-off in late August. I'd be surprised if you see higher than 70 to 72-ish, honestly. Honestly, like I don't really mind like prices going like way, way lower, like 40, 30K, because then I'll be buying Bitcoins. I'll be buying like Ethereum, like I'll be holding them for even years. So I don't really mind that at all. But like rotation wise, honestly, like if we do, because it's a very good trade. Like trade wise, like swing wise, it's gonna be a very very nice trade. That's the only thing like that I am looking for. Spot wise, yeah, sure, I might like miss like a bunch of buys, but like trade wise, it's gonna be like a very nice trade. So that's the only reason why I would like for price to reclaim. But honestly, I would love if like I could get a very nice short. We rotate all the way back down to even like 45Ks. Um, Kim said looking for each scalp at 1930. Target 2K. Ethereum. Let's take a look at Ethereum. This is the higher time frame chart for Ethereum that I don't know. I think I posted like last stream, and we still have it at the moment. Let's take a look at the trade you're talking about. Kim's talking about a trade like a 1930. That's all long. 1930 is somewhere around here. Yeah. And target is like 2K. And your stop loss is where? 90 cents. So this is your trade. If this is your trade, then I mean it's a nice trade. I'd say nice trade, but honestly, there's something that's like below. Like we are in the premium. Like we, as you can see, like this is a high and low for me. This right here, I think this can be the higher low, and this is like my PY. It's somewhere anywhere between here could like we end up like forming higher low. So if you're in a trade like this, just hope that it does not like get rejected off of here, or it does not like lose the higher low that we have right here. And that would be like actually very recognizable. For me, this is like premium. Where is the short-term setup for BTC? Short-term setup for BTC, honestly, I'm looking at this. Besides this, I was like talking about, wait, where did it go? Besides this, I was talking about long that you could like execute here, for like a 1 hour, but honestly, that's a little miss for now. ATR said, following your hard time from Ethereum projection, it should go a bit higher than here, no? Should all ETH also do a push in the next 72 hours, or is it good? Honestly, ETH is a laggard pair. So are the rest of the coins. Most of the time they're just following BTC, so it doesn't have to like follow that rule of like just like executing a pump right away. But for especially for BTC, because we're building a lot of volume and liquidity below these lows. That's like very fruitful for bears. Like they see these lows and they're like, okay, there's a lot of stops and a lot of liquidations here. What we're gonna do, we're gonna solve price as much as we can, because when price pumps, listen, when price pumps, the difference between that liquidity and that current price is way too much, right? Now, them stalling it too much, the difference between that low and the current price is way less, right? Now, if they sell like if they like do their best and like sell just this much, and if they do the same here, they're not gonna do much while price is here, but they're gonna do a lot of damage if price is there. They're gonna like just use the rest liquidation as cascade and send prices way lower. So that's why like they are trying to stall as much as they can and keep the price near to where stops and liquidations are. And Ethereum and Sol are mostly like laggard um, pairs. They just follow BTC afterwards, so you don't have to worry about those. What do you think about the short from 66.1K? Like Xander said, 66.1K. I'm not short. I'm not sure which one. Honestly, I would still be looking for like confirmation. Either structure like this, or you can get a confirmation here, or just like short the stall grind aggressive sell down. These are the two like sort of structural confirmations that I'll just look to short. Okay, what else do we have? We need Ansem to cry on the timeline. Ansem is like very big comparatively to what he was like 2 years ago, like because of his coin as well. Vic said, my bet is that BTC will push higher on Wednesday after FMC. FMC could do something. We'll take a look into it, but I would definitely not position right into FMC, because a lot of the times that really just messes up your position, takes out your stop sometimes. Not a good idea. Yeah. Apparently, a lot of people in the call are actually short. Taking a look at the positions poll that we have, there's 7 people still short. And if I go to the lower time frame, honestly, I'm hoping for a trade to like occur some of the time when I'm like actually streaming, but most of the time it doesn't. Actually, the last stream that we did on like Thursday, I think like Thursday or Friday, it was like around here, was this setup that we were like talking about. I think it was like Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. It was like New York session Thursday when we were like on call for like an hour in the Discord, and all I have was like this trade on my chart, and that's the only trade that I took since Friday, honestly. Now I'm looking for another trade to develop. Like I haven't like taken a trade out for this. Now I am not in a trade at the moment, but I have shared my triggers. And honestly, if I do get like a trade developing, guys, I will definitely try to like post it on Twitter as well, Twitter and Discord right here. But for now, you never have to like force yourself into a position that doesn't make sense. This position, like if you were like longing from here or the slow, that would have made sense because we had like a lot of stalling by cells, and that like like it's a higher loan structure. This would have made a lot of sense. Like this is a very nice trade. But for now, it's like in the middle, so just don't worry about it. You can either look for a short here, or you can look for a long that could develop right around here again if we hold the lows. That's all you have to do. Honestly, just wait the structure out for a bit, and then we'll get a very nice trade. I am like trying my best to like see if there's a trade that we can get while I'm streaming, but as you can see, like we haven't moved like an inch in the last 30 minutes. Okay, any more questions, guys? Do we have any more questions so far? How to be brave while talking to girls? I'll honestly just treat them like humans. Like they're like just talk to them like you talk to like guys, honestly. That's good advice. Marcus said, do you use VWAPs as a directional bias or maybe a confluence? I do use them as both. Like I use them as like directional bias and a confluence as well. If I'm to draw like a VWAP right here, I usually draw them from like high or low. And this currently right here, as you can see, like this anchor VWAP that I have, I'm using this both as a directional bias. Like as long as it's above the VWAP, it's likely going to like trend higher. As you can see, like it bounces from the higher like the value area high of the VWAP as well. That's pretty good. And whenever it starts breaking is when we are expecting a move down to the val, right? Whenever it like starts breaking into the value area high of the VWAP, it does a rotation down to the value area low almost. And then when it does a reclaim, like this right here is a reclaim, it's gonna go to the value area high at least. Now that's the trade that I was talking about. Now I didn't need the VWAP to like really take a look at that, and I was talking about this while the call started. That was like if you guys even like take a long here and then just TP somewhere here, it's gonna end up pretty well because we have like bounce off of like a VWAP right here, and we are most likely going to rotate. It's just rotations that happens like all the time in structure in like VWAP. You can use that as a confluence and a directional bias as well. Do you live stream daily? I don't live stream daily. I only live stream every Monday for everybody, and on Thursday, but for the private people in Discord. Germa Foster said, "How to improve? I don't know if you're improving at okay pace. Honestly, depends on your like trades. If you're like taking like 10 trades in a day, or if you're taking 10 trades, honestly like 10 trade setup. If you're taking like 10 trades in a week or a month, and if your trades are turning out pretty well, you have a nice win rate in a sense that you are having a nice RR setup, and you're actually having like trades that are working 6 to like 7 times out of the 10 times, pretty much like consistently. That's when you know you'll start improving. Also, PNL, just make sure like your PNL is like going higher. I will post my PNL on Twitter, and you can see it's a very like gradual incline. Kim, is it okay to limit short BTC at 65,800? Honestly, 65,800. Um, that's right here. To limit short this, like I am looking for like if you're trying to like limit short this, then you gotta be like active on the screen. What happens like if it like actually just gets the rejection, but it doesn't like get the continuation, so it like just boom, it like pops off. So you gotta be like there. So I don't like mine limit any at all, but you gotta be like there to like observe if it like carries on that sell momentum or not. Okay, guys, if you do not have any more questions, I think we will conclude the session for today. I'm sure like I managed to like cover the hard time frame and lower time frame. I will be posting the recording on Twitter. I will be posting the recording on the announcements as well for everybody to watch. And then you can adjust your bias, and then you can like take a trade and look at the setups that I talked about. And once those execute, I'll be posting them on Twitter as well. I really appreciate everybody that joins these sessions, and I really thank everybody that like comes to talk to me every day. I'll see you guys later. Take care and goodbye. Thank you guys.